congratulations on your role in this House. I just want to let you know that I wish to share this time with the honourable member for South Shore St. Margaret today. As this is the very first opportunity that I have had to rise in this House, I would like to start off with a quick word of thanks. It is an incredibly humbling and exciting honour to stand here, to sit here, to be a representative for my constituents here. And so to my constituents from the bottom of my heart, I wish to express just how grateful I am that they have renewed their support in me. Now, my favorite thing about running a campaign is actually the amazing volunteers who come alongside to support me. I'm talking about those who give their time, their talent, and their money in order to invest in my success. And so to them, I also wish to extend a very sincere thank you. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Those are the words permanently etched into the stone over the west window of the Peace Tower on Parliament Hill. The words are strong and they are true. Humans have this incredible ability, and it's this ability to dream, to cast vision, to inspire. It's also the ability to be able to pursue those things. The throne speech is usually the vehicle used by the Prime Minister to communicate and provide hope and optimism for the Canadian people. Now, sadly, this was not the case this time. I was anticipating a detailed plan in 4 specific key areas that I believe every single federal Prime Minister, regardless of political stripe, should be prioritizing if they wish to lead well. Here they are. 1, keep the country united. 2, ensure Canadians are kept safe and secure. 3, facilitate an environment of economic prosperity. And 4, advance Canada's place on the world stage. To the detriment of Canadians, however, all 4 of these points were largely ignored in the document that was read in what I would call a monotone manner by the Governor-General. Now, perhaps she simply read it in that tone in order to match the lackluster content that was within. Now, before the budget was tabled, my constituents shared with me that they were hoping to see a real plan for reopening the economy and restore hope and confidence in our future as a great country. Those who are unemployed were hoping to see a plan that created new jobs and opportunities for wealth creation. Those in the oil and gas sector were hoping to see support for this world-class industry. Those in the agriculture sector were hoping to see just a little something for them. A nod of appreciation would have gone a long way, but there was nothing. Local businesses who are on the verge of permanently closing their doors were hoping for a carefully thought out plan, not for more handouts, but to get back to normal. Sadly, the throne speech was about further bloating the size of government, which means Canadians will now be required to spend more of their hard-earned money on tax hikes and inflation. Now, let's just explore that for one moment. In the speech, it was said the Prime Minister wants to make life more affordable for all Canadians. In fact, he is doing the exact opposite. But you don't actually need me to tell you that. No one does. Because if you've shopped at a local grocery store or eaten at a restaurant or paid a home heating bill or filled your gas tank with fuel, then you already know that life is getting more and more expensive. So why is that? Well, the name of the bad news is inflation, and it's driven by terrible government policy. Those who are hurt the most by the government's decision to spend money that it doesn't have are seniors who are on a fixed income or those who live with a disability and who are therefore living on a small stipend. It's also those who live paycheck to paycheck and struggle to make ends meet. Food banks are finding it difficult to keep up with the level of need they're seeing, and one of the biggest changes over the last year has been the rise in the number of people who are actually full-time employed having to use food banks because they just simply can't pay their bills. The Prime Minister says he doesn't think that much about monetary policy. Well, that's obvious. See, he handed himself a blank check in spring of 2020, and he's been printing and spending money ever since. This government has handed out exorbitant amounts of money in the name of emergency income. But the books show the personal disposable income of Canadians has actually increased during the pandemic. Earned income has dropped significantly. But the enormous government handouts have more than covered the loss. As a result, there's tons of extra money flooding the economy, but there's the same number of goods, if not fewer. The outcome is higher prices because an endless supply of printed money combined with limited goods actually drives up the price tag. The sad thing is, Mr. Speaker, it's the wealthy that are benefiting when those prices hike because it adds to their profit line. Meanwhile, low-wage earners must make their dollars stretch further in order to cover their necessities. All the while, the government is bloating in size, not only by spending all of this extra money, but by raking it back through taxation. $1 used to be worth $1. Today, $1 is only worth 95 cents. Now, if the government were to increase taxes by 5%, there would probably be massive outrage. But that's just it. That's exactly what the government did do. It's called inflation tax. It simply comes with this name. Now, as the member for Carleton has pointed out, countries that are not printing money to pay their bills have actually managed to maintain a low cost of living and an affordable life for their citizens. Meanwhile, those countries that are flooding their economies with cheap cash are actually driving up the cost of living and making it less affordable. Now, there's an inconvenient truth that seems willfully ignored. Reining in fiscal spending would necessitate limited government. And this, of course, is a horrible restraint for any political party that only attains or maintains power when people are reliant on the government for its programs and handouts. The Liberals are actually choosing to be fiscally irresponsible for the sake of political advantage, and it's putting our economic future in great jeopardy. So what's the solution? Well, it's simple. Stop printing money, rein things in, be fiscally responsible. That's what this country deserves. We the people. It's a powerful phrase, isn't it? We the people. When the people feel the freedom to live up to their potential, all of society benefits. But in order for this to happen, government has to get out of the way. Serving as a member of Parliament has afforded me the extraordinary opportunity to speak with many Canadians about the type of Canada they desire. I have heard countless stories from visionaries who want to build businesses, invent new technologies, and help those who are suffering and improve our society in areas where we have fallen short. All of these conversations and general observations have given me a tremendous amount of hope for this nation's future. Unleashing the potential of the Canadian people is, in fact, the key to our success. Imagine what it would look like if the bridles of red tape and regulation were thrown off and entrepreneurs were given the freedom to take risks, to make investments, and to prosper and help others prosper. This is the type of Canada that we can create, not through government handouts and increased control, but by creating opportunity for each and every Canadian to invest their gifts and their talents and their abilities to prosper themselves. It is Canadians who are the problem solvers and the solution makers and the wealth creators, not the government. No matter the handouts they give, we will not get ahead. A good leader puts people first. Sadly, that is not what the Prime Minister did in this throne speech. It is not what he has endeavored to do on behalf of this great country. And for this reason, I cannot support the speech from the throne.
Question et commentaire.